I, 24F, lost my shit at my neighbor, 30SM, and unsure how to proceed. Update, first wanted to say a sincere thank you for all of your comments. I didn't expect this to get that many upvotes or comments, and I think this story resonated with a lot of people, especially while we're all spending so much time at home. I appreciated reading your experiences and advice. They really helped me feel less worried and scared about the situation. The update is that my partner and I decided to let my landlord know what's up. We like our landlord and feel like we have a good relationship with him, and the majority of the comments made us realize we needed to get him involved. We also decided to not approach our neighbor directly again at this point. We sent our landlord an email detailing the events with our neighbor from April until now last night around 9. We also offered to have him measure/validate our noise levels if he wanted to, as we're confident we generate a very average amount of living noise. We had two friends who we are in a quarantine bubble with over for dinner yesterday who helped us draft the email and make it more concise/less emotional. We ate dinner and then watched TV, and they left around 11:30 p.m. In a surprising turn of events, our neighbor finally texted my partner to complain about the noise that was made when we were saying bye to our friends and they were leaving, which is fine. It was past 10 and they were on their way out anyways. But we finally have his phone number and a way to communicate that isn't indiscriminate wall banging. And this morning our landlord has already let us know he read our message, that he was sorry about the problems we've had with our neighbor, and that he wanted to talk with us some more this afternoon. I'm a little nervous but feel mostly good about it. A lot of your stories made me feel grateful for my shitty neighbor, as I don't think he's mentally ill or psychotic or shady or a creep. Think he just isn't very considerate or friendly, and a lot more bark than bite. I think if we had responded more firmly from the beginning that he would have backed down a lot, and that us trying to be diplomatic or patient emboldened him to continue treating us rudely. During our time living here, the banging has been on and off/inconsistently in response to different noises, e.g., banging when the toilet flushes, but only for a few days in a row here and there, not every toilet flush every day. While our lifestyle hasn't changed much, so it seems to us like his noise sensitivity might be connected to his emotional state, and not to the building's acoustics. Either way, that is for our landlord to determine now. This has been an unpleasant but eye-opening experience. Thank you all again for sharing your thoughts. Smile. Too long didn't read. My neighbor has been making excessive noise complaints about my partner and I since we've moved in this year. We've tried to reach out directly to him multiple times to no response. He complained again today to my face and I lost my temper and yelled at him. Now I'm not sure how to proceed. My partner, 24M, and I moved into the place we live in now in April of this year. We love our place, we love the landlord, literally sweetest landlord I've ever had, and feel really fortunate to have a place to live and stay in during a year filled with hardship and uncertainty for many. Since we've moved in, we've had a weird bit of ongoing beef with our next door neighbor, 30SM. We live in a duplex, and his unit shares several walls and ceilings/floors with ours. His floors, our ceilings. His primary form of communication with us has been to bang very hard on these shared walls and his floors/our ceilings in reaction to noises we make. At first we weren't certain the banging was directed towards us. My partner and I don't play loud music, have parties, or do anything that makes a huge amount of noise on a regular basis. We would hear the banging in the early morning sometimes when we were using the bathroom door closing/sink turning on/toilet flushing, or at night when we were watching TV. The banging kept coincidentally happening when we made noise/were louder, but it was also often during activities we thought were really normal everyday activities. The banging slowly became more frequent, got to be about 1x a day at least, and our landlord also started sending us random messages like, please remember that quiet hours are after 10 p.m, and that your neighbors might hear more than you can should you use the washing machine past then. The day after we had done some laundry in our machine in our unit past 10 p.m. This kind of event happened more than once, so so we figured that our neighbor was making more detailed complaints to the landlord. We felt bad and my partner left our neighbor a note apologizing for any noise issues and gave the neighbor his number so he could text us directly the next time he had a problem with the noise, since we weren't sure what noises he could hear in his apartment. He never texted or responded to the note. In August the banging was at an all-time high, when he banged on our shed walls 10 plus times in one day for 4 days in a row. I kept a record of it after the first day because it was so disruptive and way worse than anything he'd done before. The banging was spread throughout the day, not just during quiet hours, and seemed to be in reaction to things like cooking dinner, talking on the phone, talking to my partner while in the same room, showering, and flushing the toilet. I have PTSD from a previous domestic abuse environment and the amount of banging was giving me intense anxiety. After 4 days of it I couldn't take it anymore, and this time I wrote a note telling him we had no idea what the banging was about and that if he had a problem with the noise he needed to communicate more directly. I told him about my PTSD and how it was affecting me, and asked for him to talk to us instead of banging on the walls. I gave him my number, and my partner's number again in case he had lost the previous note, and asked him to text in the future when he had problems with the noise so we could try to be more accommodating. After that note, the banging stopped for a while. It has recently started back up, but at a very low frequency and again seemingly in reaction to daily activities, so much so that we are again unsure if it is directed at us or not. He has not texted us at all since that note, nor have we talked in person. My partner and I have definitely been on edge about this, as it's hard to tell if he's just has a bad day and is banging around taking out his anger randomly, or if it's specifically in reaction to some noise we're making. It does seem like it's in reaction to noises we make in our apartment, but we don't want to assume. Today I was outside on our apartment balcony setting up some flooring panels. It was Thursday at 1 p.m. In order to set up the flooring panels I needed to stomp the pieces into place. This was a fairly loud activity, but I figured since it was 1 p.m. it wouldn't be an issue, and would be less loud indoors for others as it was being done outside. I had done a few panels when I heard my neighbor's sliding door open. He has a balcony that's above ours, and someone who sounds super pissed very quietly says, "Hey, would you stop that?" Exclamation mark. It was said so quietly that for a second I wasn't sure if it was being said to me. He has a dog and cat, and the tone of his voice made me think of a pissed pet owner talking to their animal. I looked up to his balcony and didn't see him there. I'm about to call out and ask if he's talking to me, but before I hear the sliding door closing shut already. I decide to keep going since I'm already halfway through, and also because I am not certain he was talking to me. A few minutes later he comes out onto his balcony again, but actually comes to the edge to make eye contact and talk directly to me. This is where I fucked up and lost my shit at him. "Neighbor, can you stop that, I'm working?" Exclamation mark. "Me, are you talking to me?" Question mark. N, yes. Exclamation mark. M, well, I wouldn't know because you've been super fucking passive aggressive to us and a huge fucking asshole. We tried to reach out to you multiple times. You have my phone number. You won't even try to communicate with me, and you're making this place a fucking nightmare to live in. Exclamation mark. N, well, can you just do it after 5 m? Yes, sure, I'm happy to whatever. Both of us left and went back inside. It was not my proudest moment and I cried when I was telling him off. Since this happened there has not been much noise or activity or anything eventful. My partner was at work when this happened, and when I told him, he was upset and pissed too. We are planning on knocking on his door and asking him to talk face to face, outdoors outside the building, 6 feet apart with masks of course, tomorrow to address it, and I'm trying to figure out what to say / how to handle it. I don't like the idea of talking in person like this during COVID. I'm in the US so it's really bad right now, but we've tried the written note method without any success, and the balcony interaction seems like it should definitely be addressed sooner rather than later. Looking for any advice on how to approach the scenario. Thank you so much in advance for anything you would want to share. Literally just reading this post gives me insane anxiety. You should be keeping a record of this, audio of the knocking, dates / photos of letters you leave him, and complain to your landlord every single time he knocks. We started doing that in August when it got crazy. and all the comments in this post are definitely making me think we should involve the landlord ASAP. I think I was naively hoping it wouldn't come to this since it's such a pain to be trying to build up a stack of receipts to use as legal protection in your own home, but it's starting to look like the way to go. Thank you for giving us your thoughts and advice. I feel your pain. My husband and I live in a duplex, except our neighbors are the noisy ones. 3 kids, constant screaming and fighting, barking dogs. It's hell. You guys don't sound like you are making unnecessary noise. Normal activities shouldn't warrant such a crazy response. So I would start recording the banging on the walls and document what you were doing at the time. Also get the landlord involved. Tell them exactly what's going on. For example, running the washer after 10 does not warrant a noise complaint. Good luck. Your neighbor sounds pretty unhinged. You're approaching this like you're harassing him, with the noise, when in fact he's the one harassing you. Complain to your landlord, with the log of the banging. Stop it. You need your landlord involved. See if there is a mediation board in your area. He can turn this on you and lie that both of you ganged up. Involve your landlord. This is not your property. I'd be highly surprised if he even opens the door to you. Why aren't you complaining to the landlord? This kind of thing, neighbor disputes, appears on /r/legal advice regularly. I didn't realize that this was bad enough to cross over into legal advice territory. My partner and I still thought that this could be an interpersonal issue we could work out between us without getting the landlord involved. I wanted to say something to the landlord, but we thought that this wasn't an issue he could or would necessarily do anything about, so we didn't plan on involving him yet. Is this something that we should consider getting legal advice for? I thought he was just being an asshole, but not necessarily doing something illegal. My 27M fiance's 28F ex-boyfriend sent me some videos of them together. I'm struggling with being now extremely insecure and wanting to support my girlfriend through this. I've been with my girlfriend for a little over 3.5 years. Recently I was sent over Snapchat a few videos from someone we determined to be her ex. He sent the message, "How does used PC feel? F@G. Fiona will never forget about me." There was one of them having vaginal sex from behind and one of her sucking his dick, and a few others that I didn't watch, but the thumbnails showed pretty graphic sex acts. A lot of things that I wish I had never had to see. I don't know why I watched any of the videos. It was like a train wreck. I know they were from the past. My fiancée got a tattoo on her ass about a year into our relationship and she has different colored hair. I stopped myself after the first 2, told my fiancée. I was able to convince her to report him for revenge porn, which is illegal in our state, and we're trying to get through this. I want to be able to support her fully through this, but I'm incredibly insecure now. I haven't let on just how insecure I am about this. Those videos and thumbnails have been stuck in my head. First, my fiancée said she would never do that. I'm in the military and get sent overseas a lot, and I've asked her if she'd like to make videos of us together so I have something to get off to that's not just porn. She said she doesn't like to make videos or send pictures, but obviously she did with him. The dude was also significantly large. There were also sex acts that she said she doesn't like doing that she did enthusiastically with him. Like she doesn't like having her hair pulled or being spanked or held down, and she had all of those things done to her, and she seemed to enjoy it. She also said she doesn't really enjoy giving oral sex that much, but again she did so with him enthusiastically. Some of the thumbnails of videos I didn't watch had her in handcuffs or tied up or other things like that, which are all things she said she'd never do. The video of her giving him head was filmed in a car in public, something that I've expressed to her as a fetish of mine and she said she won't do. By far the biggest thing that made me feel insecure was the sounds and reactions she made in the video. She sounded like a fucking porn star. She never makes sounds like that with me. She never screams out my name or grabs on the bed for dear life. She never has finished so intensely that her legs shake. I don't know what I'm doing that's so wrong that I'm not making her react that way. The only thing that I could think of was that his penis was significantly larger than mine, and now I was already insecure and and depressed about my size, and this is making it so much worse. I haven't told my fiancée about any of this because I know telling her will just make her feel worse about this when she needs to be strong to make sure she can help get her ex punished. I don't know what to do with these feelings, but they're eating me up inside. I'm literally crying as I write this because this all hurts my heart so much. What should I do? I want to first say that to those of you insulting my fiancée, please fuck off. She is an amazing woman, and is not deserving of whatever shit you sling at her. Second, I want to say that I am currently doing all I can to support her through this. Like I said, I haven't told her my feelings, and I haven't told her that I watched 2 of the videos. Right now I don't want to burden her with my thoughts on this. I'm posting here because I need help coming to terms with this. I'm not bothered by the fact that she slept with another guy. I'm bothered that through the last almost 4 years we've been together, that she has told me that she will not do certain things that she had done with him, and that I saw how she reacted with him. That's what's painful. That this woman I loved and I thought trusted me completely was willing to do things that made her uncomfortable with him, but will not do those things with me. It makes me feel like she trusts me less, and like she desires me less than she desired him. My 30 meters wife, 26F, just told me that she doesn't love our newborn daughter, and it's breaking my heart. I really don't know how to handle this situation right now, so advice would be highly appreciated. My wife and I got married in January this year, and she almost immediately got pregnant. Having kids was something we both wanted. The pregnancy wasn't exactly easy for my wife, both physically and mentally. She couldn't stand the sight of her body changing so much, but I made sure to support her as much as possible. Our daughter was born in September, and just like the pregnancy, the birth wasn't easy. There were a lot of complications, but at the end both my wife and my daughter were fine. I noticed that my wife doesn't really like spending time with our daughter, which is heartbreaking. And now she told me that she doesn't love our daughter and doesn't feel a connection to her. I'm not mad at her. I know that this isn't her fault, but it was extremely painful to hear those words. I'm already looking for some sort of therapy for my wife, but I don't know how to handle the fact that she doesn't love our daughter and feels disconnected from her. I don't want to feel like this, but I'm almost feel resentful towards my wife because I just can't understand how she can't love our baby girl. Any advice? TL, doctor. My wife told me that she doesn't love our daughter and that she feels disconnected from her. I'm looking for some sort of therapy for my wife, but I can't handle the fact that she doesn't love our daughter.